Sports Talk. My dad, my partner, my co-host, Cowboy Joe 64.
I am your father.
Just to get the Cowboys 2 good games to hopefully understand that they need to go receiver and go high with this next pick.
Yeah, yeah, that's really what this is gonna be about. All right, you're looking live at Fast Cast, Father and Son Cowboys and Sports Talks. I'm the host, DJ. I tell you what, I'm joined by my co-host, my dad, Cowboy Joe 64, and we are back with another one. First day of training camp really was the second day, but man, tons and tons of information and tons of stories that popped out there today. And we knew that this was going to be an interesting training camp, and this is going to be an interesting season. But man, I was blown away at the amount of news that just came out of nowhere. So you want to say what's up to the people and kind of what's the first thing you want to talk about?
What's up, people? So appreciate you guys joining. We kind of doing some things, see if what kind of feedback we get on. When we do our show, we got other content creators going live. So everybody's trying to get in where they can fit in. So people that join our show, we appreciate it, and hopefully people will see it, after the fact as well. But yeah, it's day 2, and we're gonna be talking about camp every day, and it's so many breaking news things as you said happen. So you want to start with Mazi and just kind of got to give you kudos because you called it last night on our show. You said that what's going to happen is Mazi's going to be playing 1 and 3, and then they kind of hinted at that today. I know the show I was listening to before we came on, DC Universe, shout out to those guys. They were going hot and heavy on it when I came up here. About everybody is just kind of hot and heavy with this news, but you called it. You said he's going to be playing both, and what that means to me, and I'm gonna come back to myself. I called it weeks ago. We need to get 2 1-techs, a veteran starter and a backup 1-tech, and it's not Mazi. So you go ahead and jump in.
Yeah, you're right about that. Especially and then with that news confirming it to me, what that means is that it should be common sense that they need to get a couple 1-techs now, because there's just no way that you can say that your starting 1-tech, your supposed starting 1-tech is now going to be playing a variety of 1 and 3 tech, and that he's slimmed down.
Yeah.
That is absolutely just like, as far as people that's going for Mazi and the people that was on a train of Mazi being a 1-tech, that news right there is devastating. That's not good for people like myself that wants him to be. Now me personally, I won't say people like myself because I think that he's a better 3-tech than he is 1-tech. But what I don't like about this is that Shotty said that he wants his defensive. Eberflus wants the defensive line to be interchangeable. That everybody can play 1 and 3, and I don't like that because again, in his type of defense, it's to me it's too much of a Rob Marinelli thing to where they're trying to get these guys, these 1-techs, to get up the field, and that's not okay. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when you're playing another type of scheme like the Shanahan scheme, what's going to happen is they're going to run trap plays. They're going to run plays where you want to run upfield. We're going to let you run upfield. We're going to trap you. We're going to block you off. And there's probably a better term for what I'm describing. That's why we're going to do another show with Lou, hopefully. But I want to know what the defensive term is when you're running upfield as an offensive lineman. I just turn and push you upfield like you're pass blocking.
Yeah, it's like zone. It's like a zone run. You know what I mean? It's
And
just
then
like,
when you go upfield, there is nothing between the running back and the linebackers. There's nothing there.
so when you down blocking as an offensive line, like the Cowboys. Another thing that we learned today was that they're going to be doing with their Brian Broaddus said that the main major scheme that they were running with the running attack, and they were doing that a lot today. Like they were running the ball a lot today. So he said that he thinks that this Cowboys team is going to run the ball a lot because that's what he's seen the majority of today. And what he was saying was it's a gap scheme. So I looked up the gap scheme, and what a gap scheme is what you pretty much just explained. Is if like, if you're gonna if you're a running back, if you're a defensive lineman and you running that way, and the play is designed to go whatever way, that guard or that tackle that's in front of you, they're just gonna assist you in going that way. So like for instance, like what we were just talking about, if we have a play to where we're trying to stop the run and Mazi is getting upfield, well, they're just gonna let
And
Mazi
Osa,
go and Osa going upfield. Well, those linemen are just basically gonna let them go upfield and they're gonna run behind them. Or they're gonna run the opposite direction to where they're just out of the play. You could be running
and
yourself
what
right
you
out.
just described, that's what put LVE into retirement. Number one, he was never a Mike. He had injuries. He got re-injured, and they had him playing Mike. And what he was doing, down in and down out, down out. He's got running backs coming downhill at him unabated. That just speeded up his retirement.
Or he had a tackle coming at him
Yeah.
unabated because the guard and the center, they're not even there no more because the other players are upfield and they just pushed them on through.
Now Zimmer's scheme. The reason I wanted to get away from this Marinelli scheme is because number one, it was never clear to me why they went to that scheme other than and in my view, we got to research this. I'm still thinking that no other franchises are using this scheme other than us. It's either Rob Marinelli or Eberflus. I don't know of any other now. Dan Quinn runs a similar scheme, and he had the exact same problems, by the
Tampa,
way.
Tampa Bay running.
But yeah, you show me that scheme, I'm showing you teams that have problems stopping the run. That's been consistent. Dan Quinn ran a variation of it. He hasn't stopped the run yet. Even in Washington, his run defense is one of the worst in the league. So as a front office, McClay, Steven, what is going on where you keep saying to yourself, you're going to use this scheme? You didn't win with it. You 30 years, you haven't won with that scheme.
Nobody has.
No. Well, if you go back to the Seattle teams that won that one Super Bowl, they used a variation of it, but the difference is they had two huge defensive tackles.
Yeah.
So Dan Quinn didn't even bring that scheme here.
And then what's even more daunting about it is the fact that we know as Cowboy fans, we know this is not going to work. And so when we know this is not going to work, we know that Eberflus he got 5 or 6 games, 4 or 5 games to get his stuff together, and then they're going to be looking for another defensive coordinator.
I still have a theory about Eberflus. I haven't been able to research it. I still believe that the reason they hired Eberflus is because of money. And where I'm going with that is when you're a head coach of a team, you have a guaranteed contract. So when you take a job with another team, the old team pays part of your contract. I believe that's why he was hired. That's just my thought.
And that's just another thing to let you know that this is just another way that the Cowboys continue to lose because they do things like that.
We need to research that because I think that's behind this hiring. And someone that I follow, they were telling me that he was highly sought after he left Chicago when he got fired. I don't. There were not other teams knocking his door down. I didn't see it.
As a matter of fact, he was the laughing stock of the league when he was on his way out for losing that game when he didn't call a timeout. It's just like,
so
what?
we gotta have this conversation. Now we asked Lou about this, and he kind of seemed to say that I think Lou was kind of okay with the scheme, but I'm telling you, if you don't have a run stopping one tech, you are not going to stop the run.
Let me confirm that so we can do a story on this because check this out. Matt Eberflus signed a 5-year contract with the Chicago Bears, not a 4-year contract as previously reported. The contract runs through the 2026 season. Even though he was fired, he is still owed the remaining salary on his guaranteed contract unless a for cause clause is triggered. According to MARCA, the Bears are reportedly on the hook for approximately $18 million remaining on his contract, according to MSN.
Okay, now the other part of that story is what is Dallas paying him?
Let's see.
Because
we don't even really need to know that. He getting paid $18 million by Chicago. That's it.
So the thing is, if the Cowboys had to hire Zimmer as the coordinator, if they had to hire, and I was thinking about this today, Connor Riley and Clayton Adams, in my opinion, that's what they should have did on defense. Now, I can't tell you who the defensive coordinator would have been, but it would have been a coach like them, a Clayton Adams type, a Connor Riley type, somebody that's up and coming, innovative. What I would have done, I would have went to Robert Saleh, who they interviewed for the head coach, and I would have asked him. This is what Shotty did, by the way, when he hired Clayton Adams and Connor Riley. He went out and he talked across the league, and he said, "Who are the up and coming coaches? Somebody that's like breaking new ground, innovative. That's who I want to look at." If he had been allowed to do that on defense, I don't know who the coach would have been. But I would have just called Robert Saleh and I would have said, if you had a head coaching job, Robert Saleh, who would your defensive coordinator be? That's the person that I would have went after. Somebody like that, and he wouldn't have named Matt Eberflus.
Mm-mm.
He would not have.
It says that Matt Eberflus' salary as a Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator is not publicly available,
Yeah,
and it
well,
says that
and there's a reason for that.
exactly, and it says that, but it's likely in line with what other NFL defensive coordinators earn, potentially 2 to 4 million. No, it ain't.
No, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, the reason they hired him is because they are not having to pay him most of his salary. The Bears are paying it. That's why he was when he got fired. I'm talking about as soon as McCarthy was off the books. That was the first name that we started hearing, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, we knew that. I mean, you know what? I knew that when he lost that game. We said, "Watch, the Cowboys gonna bring him in here."
Yep.
We knew that when he lost that game. That's what we said. The Cowboy would do something like that. They would bring him in here.
Now Paul Gunther was another name. Uh, I do you one better. If they was gonna go this route, they should have just went and hired George Edwards as the defensive coordinator. Now
That'd
he
have been.
runs a different scheme. He doesn't run. He runs the traditional 4-3
Well,
with big tackles.
they had a chance to do that and they didn't. And then also
Yeah.
that would be too much like right. You know, that's like
Well,
Micah's
but they would have to
guy.
do a new contract him and pay him what he deserves. So
Well, they're gonna
I'm
have to do
telling
that.
you,
They're gonna have to do that next year. Either way,
yep. And
they're gonna have to do.
I'm not giving Matt Eberflus, and I'm gonna say this on every show that we have. He's not getting, last year it took Zimmer 8 games to get things kind of settled down. Matt Eberflus, he don't get that kind of no
No,
sir.
I hate to
Mm-mm.
say it, but it's like before training camp even starts, before the season even starts, I can tell you, I'm leaning towards. You know what? The reason why we won't go all the way this year is because of Matt Eberflus' the defensive system.
And I'll be the first to after the first 4 games, first 6 games. If we're stopping the run, I'm gonna come in here and say he's doing a good job. I'm
Me
absolutely
too.
gonna do it.
Me too. But I just want to point out the fact that out of all Clayton Adams and Connor Riley, all these guys, that we just got hired, that just got hired by Shotty, those guys you can clearly tell that Shotty hired those. And Eberflus, you can clearly tell that he was hired by the Joneses. There's a huge contradiction there because you can tell that he doesn't fit the bill of the other
He,
guys.
I think he hired White Cotton with the same type of format that he used to hire Clayton Adams and Connor Riley, but
Yeah.
he didn't hire Eberflus.
No,
Eberflus was Jerry and Stevens hire.
for sure. For sure. So when I say that we got to fight against the front office, it's always something like that. It's just like, now, Shotty, we're going to give you control over hiring, but we're going to bring in our guy, Eberflus. Now, you don't have control over
Hmm.
that. Now, them bringing in their guy, Eberflus, will be the reason why this team doesn't succeed.
This is a Kellen McCarthy thing.
This is a Kellen
Um,
McCarthy thing. Them saying Shotty, we're gonna let you spearhead the George Pickens trade. Okay, that's the reason why
Yep.
we would succeed. But but let them tell it. They hired Eberflus, and next thing you know, we still can't stop the run
yep.
because of the scheme is not it's not built for that.
You're gonna have 3 techs playing the 1 tech, and
That's not
that's
gonna
gonna
work.
put you. That's gonna leave you susceptible to getting gashed. And let me tell you something. One of the things we keep hearing about Eberflus, he's the linebacker guru. So first, they should have just hired him as a linebackers coach. Number one, okay. Number two, uh, these linebackers we got, they better get ready because they're gonna be making a lot of tackles, a lot, and they're gonna have to. Now we got the linebackers. I think that can do it, but the problem is, you don't want your linebackers making a lot of tackles downfield.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Post the link for that
He
because
had
I'm
a
reading.
stipulation in his contract with the Bears that preventing that from happening. Okay, well if that's correct, then we'll just correct our point of view.
Yeah,
But
point,
I
but
and I
post.
did say
But
I'm not really sure.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he's still on that Chicago
Yeah,
still paying
Kevin
him.
can send you the link.
Yeah,
What's
he
up,
was.
nephew? But yeah, if that's the case, then hey, that's correct. We not right on that point. I ain't got no problem with that. I'm
It
also
doesn't
gonna
change.
tell you.
It doesn't change anything.
Well, I'm gonna tell you after the first 4 games, 5 games, if we're at the top of the league and stopping the run, kudos to him. I'm gonna give him all the credit.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Absolutely. But Mazi, back to Mazi, I think that the best thing for Mazi right now is for Mazi to be the guy that is not the focal point. You need another one. You need two one techs. You need a starter and you need a backup to the one tech. And then if Mazi can give you some snaps at one tech, I personally don't think he would be doing much. The three techs that we have on the team, I just think they will be better three techs. We got some really good three techniques, I think, but I don't, but
Yeah, but I mean, we got some pretty good three techniques. But I mean, like I said, Matt Eberflus, Shoddy, if these guys were smart, they would definitely go in and they would tell the front office, we need to get 2 1 techs and we need to get them in here now.
so Perrion Winfrey, he's the other three tech they signed.
Yeah.
He showed up first thing today, and I think he's that kind of player. He's not a starting player, but he's somebody that can play. And remember that name, because
Yeah, Perry Young Winfrey. I mean, I know who he is. And I
he's a
know, right, why he was on why he was available.
he's a typical Jimmy Johnson type player. I'm gonna go back to Jimmy. Jimmy had so many guys like that. They were
Hmm.
not number one picks. They were late picks, but when they came in and played, they just wreaked havoc because they didn't. You didn't ask them to play every down. You didn't ask them to play a lot of snaps. And he had Jim Jeffcoat was drafted by Tom Landry and Gil Bryant.
Yeah, so K Rock just sent me the article that he read. So it's not saying that the Cowboys are not paying him. That's not what we're saying. So like what this says is it says no, the Chicago Bears do not pay Matt Eberflus now that he is the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator. While the Bears hired Eberflus as their head coach and subsequently fired him, his contract is stipulated that his remaining salary will be paid by the Bears even after his dismissal. He was then hired by the Cowboys as their defensive coordinator. Therefore, the Cowboys are responsible for paying him his defensive coordinator salary, while the Bears are still paying out his contract as per his previous head coaching agreement. So he is getting paid by the Bears. That's what we were saying. We wasn't saying that he wasn't getting paid by the Cowboys at all. We were just
Yeah.
saying that,
Oh yeah. They're splitting it.
yeah, they're
That's
splitting it.
typically how it works.
Correct, but it's cheap though. That's the reason why he was hired. Because if he would had to get paid like a new contract, like they would have had to do Zimmer, he
Yeah.
wouldn't be here.
And they knew what Zim was going to ask for. Zim
Right.
was going to ask for this is Zim's deal. Okay. Zim was ticked off because he wasn't interviewed for the head coaching job.
Correct.
But here's the thing. If they had went to Zim and said, "We want you to be the coordinator. We're going to give you a new deal. We're going to pay you," cuz remember, the Cowboys have done this before. Jason Garrett was the highest paid coordinator in the NFL when they hired him under Wade. So they know how to do this. And they know that's exactly what Zim was going to ask him to do. And Zim would have took the job.
And he deserved it too.
Yeah, but I'm talking about as the coordinator.
Yeah, he would. Well, oh, you think he would have took it as a coordinator instead of
I,
being
I,
the
I,
head
I
coach?
do. If they had went to him and said, "We're going to pay you. You're going to be one of the top paid defensive coordinators in the league," I think Zimmer would have thought about it, and I don't know if he would have turned it down. Now he
My-
did want the head coaching job.
Let me ask you this: why do the Cowboys do this to people like Zim? And then on top of that, wouldn't it make sense to keep the same formula or the same coordinator for a second year in a row instead of switching? Because now what you've done is you put yourself behind the eight ball. Because if this does not work, then that means that you're gonna have to get another defensive
Uh,
coordinator.
And I do you one better. Okay, so we can look at the last 30 Super Bowl champions, the last 10, and we're just gonna put them up on the screen, and they're all apples. Okay, they're all apples. You know what you're not gonna find? You might find one or two oranges. You're not gonna see the scheme that Marinelli runs. The last 10 or 12 Super Bowl champions, the scheme is similar to what Zim runs,
Mhm.
what Robert Saleh runs. Your guy at Kansas City, he's the best in the game right now. He
Mhm.
runs a similar scheme to that. He has huge defensive tackles. They just when you research the scheme, the Marinelli scheme is just not a scheme that's prevalent throughout the league. It's just not.
Mhm.
That scheme. They won a Super Bowl with Tony Dungy, with the Buccaneers, and actually John Gruden was the head coach then. That
Mhm.
scheme hasn't won multiple Super Bowls. It just hasn't.
Mhm.
Robert Saleh, uh, the coach at Kansas City, Spagnuolo, they're not running that scheme.
Let's see, your camera zoomed in. Okay, so it says
My
that
camera,
yeah, it
I
zoomed in.
see it now.
Now it says this typically involves holding your hand up near your face, which you just did. Then it says then moving your hands close together to zoom out. So I guess you're supposed to move your hands close together.
Like this.
I don't know. Put it in front of the camera and do it. I don't know. Keep playing with it. I don't know. That's what it says. Then move your hands closer together to zoom out.
You
You
need
should.
me to restart it?
Nah, I like it better like this.
I'm fine.
All right.
But we need to do our hard research
Mm-hmm.
and just look at the last 10 Super Bowl champions. Look at the last 15 and see if anybody's running a Maryland scheme. Yeah, I just don't think you're gonna find it.
Nah, it's not out there. It's not out there. I mean, no one would do that. No one would do that. Marinelli is not some guru somewhere. Who? The only reason we even know who Marinelli is because we Cowboy fans. If you was to ask a random person who is Rod Marinelli, I don't think that they would know. Not a
And
millennial.
Eberflus, he's a variation of it. And Eberflus, when he was hired here, that's not the scheme he was hired under. They was running a 3-4 when he got hired.
Well, with Parcells, but the thing is, my thing is like this: if Eberflus is a smart guy, if these are smart guys, if Shotty is smart, if Eberflus is smart, they understand that they cannot do this with three ticks, and if they know football, they should understand that, and we should see Perry Young Winfrey or someone of the like getting most of the first team snaps. That's what it should
Well,
be.
Perry and Winfrey is a 3.
Oh well,
No,
somebody
he's
it
not
should
a
be a
1.
well. I thought he was a one. Well, it should be
He's
a
a
one.
3.
Then that means that they need to get a one tech
The
in here.
3 the 3 tech room is solid.
Oh, it's great. And then they hired this James guy today. They this James I forgot his name, and he's a defensive end.
I was
Yeah,
talking to Boss Cowboy about that. That's another. We're gonna pay Jalen Smith to send a message to Zeke. That's goofy work. It's just goofy. They trying to send. They brought in 3 edges because they negotiating with Micah. That's like a shot across the bow. It's dumb.
yeah, it's
It's not
dumb.
gonna work, but
Nope.
that's what that is. So yeah, we ain't even need to talk about that. But but no, we need to do some hard research on this marinated scheme. I need to. The mystery of the universe is why do they continue to think this is a good scheme?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
get it.
It's never worked. It's never worked. Okay, let me see. Watch this though. Let's watch this though. Let's watch this.
Micah, how would you characterize how close you are to getting something
Hold on, let me
done?
get the sound right.
I mean,
Micah, how would you characterize how close you are to getting something done?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see how long things take, you know. That's it.
Thank you, discouraged by the fact that it's taken this long?
Honestly, yeah, when you go around the league and you see these other teams taking care of their best guys, I see TJ got taken care of, Max got taken care of, Miles got taken care of, and he got 2 years left on his deal, so it's hard to, yeah, you see a lot of people around the league getting taken care of, you just, wish you had something like, that same type of energy,
It's hard to not take it personally.
I wouldn't say it's hard not to take it personally when you know how there's a chain of events of something consistently happening over the course of years when you kind of see it before through other players and things. So you don't take it personally when you like, all right, this it's not like I'm getting treated differently than anyone else, So I don't take it personally. I just don't understand.
So, we knew that, I mean, like, now I knew that, Micah, well, I didn't know this, but Micah, and, he's obviously sending a message to the front office, uh, via the media. But, I've never seen a player just go directly at the Joneses like that, to where it's just like, hey, if they don't want me here, I ain't got to be here. We know it's all just talk, but I ain't never seen a player. I can't think of a player that just flat out said, you know what, hey, if they don't want me here, I don't want to be there, or insinuate that. I've never seen that from a player. I've never seen them
So,
negotiate like this.
what is the comment? They don't want me here. Where is that coming from?
Um, he said that if they
I
don't want
mean,
me
but
here,
I'm wondering why did he say that?
I mean, yeah, I don't know why he would say that. I mean, maybe he's saying like if they don't want me here, based off of like
They're saying, well, he's under contract. He should be here.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you
So,
know, yeah,
mm.
he's saying that, hey, if they don't want me here, I don't have to be here. I'll just get my stuff and go. Basically, like if they're not gonna extend me and make me a long term player, then why? Then I
so,
guess not.
so now he's got the back tightness. So that's what I would have every day till my deal is done.
And that's what Clarence Hill was saying today. Clarence Hill was just saying today, like, Micah is here. They're saying that he's here and all it is, but we ain't seen him. He not on the field. Micah is
Um,
here, but he's just giving interviews. He hasn't been.
I saw him today. He was doing the calisthenics, the warm up. He was doing that,
Yeah.
and
So I
that's all
mean,
I would do.
you know, we've seen this a million times before. So what do you say? What do you think? It's gonna get done the day before the season starts?
If I
Do
had
you?
to bet my house on it, I would say that's when it happens because we don't have anything to go on but history. And these guys, they've shown the last 30 years, and I hate to keep repeating this, these guys are not that bright. They're not that sharp when it comes to football stuff. That's why he was up there yesterday for 2 hours just saying cartoonish stuff. One of the reporters compared him to a cartoon. Dude, when you've been doing contracts like this for 30 years and you're still talking about it's the right way to do this, you're becoming cartoonish. That's just what it is. And
Yeah.
we need to stop making excuses for this front office.
Yeah, that's not a good thing either, Jerry. Like they was trying to make it seem like this is a good thing. It's like he doesn't know. It's just like it's like being the butt of the joke and you don't know it. You know what I mean? It's kind of
And
like
then
everyone
it's
is talking about
insulting.
you. Yeah, it's insulting. Everyone's talking about
And it's
you,
not
and
funny. He's up there laughing and he
it's
just,
not funny. You know,
um,
Clarence Hill said it today on DLLS. Shout out to them and shout out to Jeff and shout out to what's his name, my guy? Other
Joe Hoyt,
no, not Joe Hoyt.
Clarence Hill.
You know, Jesse Holly.
Oh, just
So,
yeah.
anyways, Clarence said today, Jerry Jones does not have that type of energy. He does not have that type of want. He doesn't need a championship. He doesn't want a championship as bad as Shoddy and these players do. I mean, that's obvious. Like yesterday, that was funny from Clarence Hill what he said today. Did you hear what he said today?
I did, but you gotta remind me what he said.
He was saying exactly what I said yesterday, word for word, about Jerry, about how he was talking about family and how he was just bringing up Jerry Jr. and talking about Landman and talking about the Netflix show, and he's talking about his legacy, and he's talking about things that he's good. He has championships. He doesn't really, he's comfortable where he's at. Of course he's gonna throw in, I want to win one bad, but it's just like you obviously don't want to win one bad, because regardless if you win one or not, you're still going to be you're still going to be successful on the business side of the football world. So I was looking at yesterday, I know how the cap works. I know how the NFL salary cap works. But yesterday I wanted to just go over the NFL salary cap. Like if I was to ask Google, how does the NFL salary cap work? And so I did that. And so I figured out something that I didn't know, which was that the money that the salary cap, because I wanted to know, where does the money come from? Where does the money come from? So the money comes from like TV deals, promotional events, the Super Bowl revenue, the playoff revenue. That's where the money comes from.
Majority of it is TV
The majority of it is TV, and the majority of it is NFL Network and ESPN. Now, if
and
you know,
advertising. Yeah.
yeah, you know that Jerry basically created that. He had a big stake in the NFL Network, becoming the NFL Network with Cowboys
Well,
Radio.
he had a big stake. What really put him on the map was way before your time. Just to piggyback on your point, but just to go back in the day. So back in the day, the NFL had a TV deal with CBS, NBC, and ABC. But what was happening was the NFL became the number one sport in the 70s and the 80s. However, their TV deal was a joke. They were not making any money. And so when he became one of the owners, he just started looking at the numbers and he was just saying to himself, we're putting these kind of numbers on their networks every Sunday and we're not making money. So he went to the owners and the network and when he first approached them, by the way, a lot of them were afraid to do it. They didn't want to cross that line. So he told the networks, here's what you guys are gonna do. We're doing a new deal. This is what you're gonna pay us for our product. And it was like billions of dollars. And guess what? They they bought it. And so that's what started everything you're looking at now. And the deals are just getting bigger and bigger. But and the other thing he did, just to let you finish your point, there was a rule that you couldn't do your own advertising with your team. It was shared profit. It's a word for it. I can't. My name. It escapes me at the moment. It was share revenue.
Hmm.
So what that means is that if you were the Green Bay Packers, if you were the Cowboys, if you were the Chiefs, all the revenue went into a pot and the money was split. Well, keep in mind the networks is not paying you a lot of money, so that pot that we're talking about, it's not a lot of money. The other thing that he did that they fought him on it. He said, "Guess what? I'm gonna start doing my own advertising, my own marketing, and guess who's gonna keep the money? I am." So he talked to some other owners. They were not. They were like, "Wow, we've never done this before." And then enough of the owners said, "Why don't we try it?" And guess what? It changed everything. Like you see the Nike swoop on a uniform. He was the first one to do that. No other team. He went to Phil Knight with Nike. So when he approached Phil Knight about it, the Cowboys were playing the Giants on Monday Night Football. So at halftime, he came out on the field with Phil Knight with a suit on, with tennis shoes on, with Nike gear. That was against the league rules. They didn't do that. So he changed the game.
And
So
so,
that's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
and that's why he's really like, he's really probably the most important figure on the NFL business side.
He is the important figure.
Right. So,
So the NFL as you know it, that's what he changed the whole revenue sharing and the whole game with that.
so with somebody with that type of accolades, his legacy is bigger than the Dallas Cowboys. It really
Yeah.
is. His
Well,
legacy is
that's why
bigger
he's
than
in the
that.
Hall of Fame. He's not in the Hall of Fame for any other reason.
Right. So, we shouldn't expect for him to be, gung ho about winning a championship. Now that's why I said now we are playing against them. So when Shoddy, when you got coaches like that, you got the players, it's up to the players and the coaches to get this done. And they have to basically do what Jerry did. How Jerry went to all of the rest of the owners and told them, "Hey, this is what we need to do." And how the rest of the owners were like, we've never done this, but let's try it, and it worked.
Hmm.
Shoddy and the players need to do that going forward to the Joneses. Hey, this is what we need to do. We need a
And
one tech in here
and I
now.
want to add one thing to the story. So what I just described to you, Al Davis, he originally tried some of these things back in the 70s and the early 80s, but it didn't work because nobody liked him. They didn't like him. He was like an outcast. Well, the difference with him and Jerry was, Jerry's just he's everybody's friend. Everybody likes him, and he's trying to. He does it with the players too. He's trying to be, everything to everybody. But also, he was just a brilliant businessman. Al Davis wasn't that. Now, I will say this on Al Davis. Al Davis was a much better general manager than Jerry. It's not even close.
It's only one group of people that say negative things about Jerry Jones and that dislike Jerry Jones. Only one group of people, and that group of people are the hardcore Dallas Cowboy fans.
And the sports writers too, because the sports writers, they really understand the NFL and how it works. And there are still people saying right today, they saying it on all the ESPN shows and whatever you call the shows now. They're all laughing at him. They're mocking him because he is not a good football general manager. He's just not.
And the players, the ex players are starting to come out and say that. We talked about.
Everybody knows it. You're
Oh,
the you're the elephant in the room, and everybody knows you're the elephant. But I think what's kind of happening, and you can kind of see it happening slowly. I think Steven is trying to figure it out. I think
yeah,
Steven kind of knows, like, my dad is up here. He don't really know what's happening. I know. That's
right.
why, but
That's why I was saying yesterday, Steven, to me, it was kind of like I was saying, he was kind of like, nah, no, I'm running this, and this is what my dad is trying to say. Like my dad, like every time he would talk, like I said, Steven would just cut him off, like, nah, but, what I'm saying? What he's
yeah.
saying is this, or no, this is what we doing, or no, 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 like every time Jerry would stop, would say something, it's kind of like you could tell Steven was just like listening to every word his dad say because he was just
And
ready to interject.
and we got to start talking about this. And I want to ask some of those guys that was on the show earlier, if we were able to get a show with them. At some point, you got to start talking about Will McClay. You got to start saying to yourself, okay, he's ahead of scouting. He knows better. You can't. Are you telling me that Will McClay has gone an entire offseason? He's starting training camp, and he's literally finna do this three technique thing where you don't have a one take. So a lot of this stuff that we're talking about, you know, he's part of the process. Another point I was going to make and let you finish. The other hurdle that Jerry hasn't been able to clear, the broken clock is right twice a day theory. In 30 years, you could just luck into hiring the right coach and get to an NFC championship game. Washington did it, Magic Johnson, them, how long they been on the team? What, 3 years, 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
In 4 years, they figured out, wow, we can make it to an NFC championship game. They've had 30. And the reason is because there's several reasons, but one of them is he just hasn't hired, he's never been able to hire the right coach. He just hasn't done it. Jason Garrett, Wade Phillips,
Another
you
reason,
know,
that, another reason that goes to your point is the fact that these other teams they've changed general managers.
yeah.
We haven't. We haven't. In 30 years, we haven't changed the general manager. The same person that hasn't been able to get lucky once is still running the team.
And I
So
still want to know, I'm going to be 99 years old. I want somebody to tell me, where did he get the idea that Jason Garrett was a head coach? Where did that come from?
And then on top of that, this is also what I want to say too, because I hate when Cowboy fans do this, and this kind of what lets me know if a Cowboy fan know what they talking about or not. It's kind of like we shouldn't be talking about Jerry running things, and him being a GM. When I see the title of Jerry as a GM, what I see is Jerry and four other people. They're like an entity. When they say Jerry is the GM and Jerry is making the decisions, that means that Steven, Adam Pacifica, Will McClay. That's who they're
Well,
talking about
one
when
of
they
one
say
of the
Jerry.
GMs over the years is a very underrated story. We've talked about it. One of the GMs was Rob Marinelli.
Yeah, he was. And that's what they do. That those three people, depending on who their coaches is, they let that coach come in and be a fourth leg on the entity.
D leg.
Yeah, yeah. No, they let him come in.
It was Rob Marinelli that wanted
Taco.
Tucker over TJ Watt.
He wanted
It was
Tristan
Rob
Hill.
Marinelli that wanted Tristan Hill.
Yeah. It was. So, you know what I'm saying? It's so you got to do that. You know, it was Dan Quinn that wanted a whole defensive draft and they didn't do anything for offense. You know, so you know they do this. You know what I'm saying? They do this a lot, and you know it's a problem. And so Will McClay needs to be talked about. We don't like to talk bad about people, but you know we need to call a spade a spade. Will McClay has what if anybody can tell me what he has done good, then I'll be quiet. But here's the catcher. Here's the kicker. When I say what he's done good, don't mention Zach Martin. Don't mention CeeDee Lamb. Don't mention Trayvon Diggs. Don't mention
Micah.
Micah. Don't mention these guys that they had to be bad the previous year and they were able to get these top 10, top first round slam dunk picks. Please don't mention them. Trayvon Diggs was the second pick, but we had him being picked in the top 10 that year. So
People gonna talk about Deron Bland.
that wasn't his pick. You know, we know Dan Quinn found him, but go ahead.
But here's the thing. Let's just keep it a buck.
And
Will McClay.
before you
Yeah.
say that, the draft is just one of the things that Will McClay does. But the other thing is getting people from other teams via trade and via signing in the off season. So
Pro
when
personnel.
pro
What
personnel,
I hear his defenders, what people will say when they defend him, they will say that he's really not the GM, it's Steven and Jerry. Then the other thing that they will say, it's the scouting department, it's not him, but he's ahead of scouting. But be that as it may, we're not finna do this thing with him because we don't have anything against Will McClay. We just looking at the 30 years, and where I'm going with that is we just started camp day 2. Let's just see September 4th. If we got one or two one techs on the team,
yeah,
then we can just say, hey, the
yeah,
same thing with Mazi.
and they
First 4 games, what is Mazi doing? The first 4 games, Eberflus. I want to know where we ranked stopping the run.
and then also, you know, we're doing the running back by committee thing. I don't like that, but you know,
I thought you
I'm
did like it.
well. My thing is like, my thing is like, you know, I would say I don't want it to be a guesstimate on if
I
Jaden
don't like
Blue
it.
if Jaden Blue is the guy or not, or if
He didn't practice today. What was up with that? Is it
I don't
because of
know.
I mean, what happened?
I don't know. I didn't see that. I want them to be like no, our lead back or we gonna be running the ball with Hunter Lucas, Javante Williams, or Jaden Blue. You know,
That's running back by committee.
yeah, but it's just like they're trying to figure out who's gonna be the lead dog, and they're trying to figure out, you know, who's what. It's like they almost don't know if these guys are good enough.
Hey, I was going to ask you this yesterday. If you had, if the running back that went to the Raiders, what was his name? Man, I'm
Ashton
just
Genty.
having enough. If Ashton Genty fell to you, does that change your thinking on running backs and what you don't need a bell cow back?
I mean, well, no, I mean, well, does it change my opinion on do I need a bell cow back?
So you're saying that you're okay with a bell cow back. You just don't want to run him into the ground, which I agree with 100%.
Yeah, you know, here's my thing. You know, like
But I'm just
yeah,
saying, just give
yeah,
me the back.
yes, give me the back and then give me somebody like Blue to pair with him.
Yeah, do the running back by committee with your second and third and fourth guy. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna want the Emmett, the Dorsett, the
of
I still
course.
think I still think Derrick Henry and Saquon go in that category, but you just use them the right way. But I just think that the way they're doing this
Yeah.
with having just not a star at running back first, the Cowboys have never done that with any success. We
Nah.
just haven't.
Mm-mm.
Every successful team that we've had, you've had a star running back, and DeMarco Murray was one. DeMarco Murray was a dog at OU.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Uh, so that's
I
what I'm
mean,
saying. And look, they went 3
um,
drafts without taking a back, and it's just like that's another thing that you pointing a finger. I want to know what is Will McClay saying about these running backs, and has he sit there in the last 3 drafts and been okay with them not taking a back with the first 3 picks?
and then on top of that, you know, I'm looking at the Cowboys cap space. There is no excuse. They should have signed Rico. I don't understand why they didn't. I mean, like what he's getting paid. I mean, you could have figured that. You could have paid him something, and he
Well,
would
they
have
didn't they
stayed.
didn't sign Rico because they insulted Rico and his agent. What they did last year when they he was a healthy scratch. So that's what that was about. And I'm gonna go back to what I said. I think Rico is better than the guys that we have, but he's still not the kind of back that I'm trying to look, man. This here's the thing. Kansas City, they gonna figure this out too. Pacheco, he's not the kind of team you're gonna win a Super Bowl with. Now they did win one with him. He hurt him last year. And when they played the 49ers the year before, when they came back and won, Pacheco was not good in that game. So the Chiefs need a running back. I don't even who they have now. They went and got the guy that they cut.
Hmm.
What was his name?
Is it Kareem Hunt?
Kareem Hunt. But he's not a one. So
Well,
did the Chiefs draft a back?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Because as great as they are with personnel, if they thinking they gonna beat teams without a good running back, they gonna find out. And
The Chiefs got Brashard Smith,
who is he?
the running back that went to SMU.
Okay, but he's not a one though.
Nah, but that's who they got on
He's
it.
more like Jadon Blue. Yeah, but he's a good pick. I would have
Yeah,
picked him.
no,
He got what round did he go in?
I think he's better than Blue, but
Okay.
uh, I mean, I don't even know. Let's see, Brashard Smith draft pick, but because I was looking at Jaden Blue's college stats yesterday, and his college stats don't even look good.
Well, they didn't look good because he didn't play a lot. He just started playing when their two other running backs got hurt. But again, we never said he was going to be this thing about him being Tony Dorsett. I don't know where that's coming from.
Brashard Smith got drafted in the 7th round.
Seventh?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that was where we had him.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, he's a Jaden Blue. He's a change up back. So look, Kansas City, if you thinking you're gonna beat the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Browns gonna be better. Um, they're not gonna win. They're not gonna win a Super Bowl with the running backs that they have. You
Mm.
know, some teams they just have a position where they just struggle. The Ravens have done that with receiver. They just haven't. The Ravens they draft great, but they haven't been able to figure the receiver thing out. But
Yeah, some teams they have these things that they just can't figure out. The Cowboys just have multiple of them.
yeah,
We never can escape it. It's like
and
you're right.
The Ravens are not purposely saying we can't draft find a receiver.
Well, we purposely saying that we ain't drafting a running back
But
because I don't under,
we've
I
done it
don't
with receiver, linebackers. We would just say we're not really that concerned about who we got playing linebacker. We're not concerned about who our receivers are. The safety. We lost games. The 2016 team, I'm telling you, if we had anybody other than Jeff Heath on that play when he had a wide open look at
Rodgers would have fumbled the ball.
the ball would have came out.
He could have ran up to him and just took it.
Yeah, but he's Jeff Heath.
Mm.
And Barry Church was a best safety, and he wasn't even drafted.
Toledo torpedo.
Yeah, but that
He
just
could have that Jeff Heath on that play. He literally could have walked up to him and just grabbed it and ran the other way, and he would have scored.
and the other thing is Marinelli, Eberflus. One of their calling cards is they don't blitz. So go look at the Kansas City Chiefs defense. You know what they do? They will blitz you to hell. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what these teams do. You don't I'm sorry, but
Listen, that article that we read yesterday on Reddit, I'm telling you, on Sunday when they was like these defensive tackles win these games on them last plays against Josh Allen, the reason why Josh Allen threw the ball up in the air and couldn't figure it out is because the defensive tackles was blitzing him and they were coming, and there was nothing he can do about it.
yeah, that's the Chiefs. They come, boy. You playing when you play their defense, you playing
Well,
the whole field.
shout out to you, Swain. Let me tell you something about Will McClay. Well, Will McClay thought that this is how good Will McClay is. He thought that when we were drafting
Mazi.
Mazi, that we were drafting a real one tech. That's what
Well,
he thought.
give him credit. He tried.
And he
He just didn't pick the right the right guy at the right time.
They showed him in the war room
Yeah.
when Jerry asked him who would he draft right now at this moment, and he said Mazi Smith.
And they went with him. That's not who McCarthy wanted.
No, Matthew Bergeron is who McCarthy wanted, or he wanted that tight end from
Sam
what?
Laporta. Well,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
go back in that draft, if they had to do it all over again, you would just take Laporta.
That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna
What
work.
do you
What?
say?
That's why we loading up on fast DTs on 3 techs.
Yeah. It's gonna work in the passing game when you got a team at 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9.
Yeah, but it's not gonna run against Shanahan offense when they trapping you. It's not gonna run against
Mm-mm.
like Christian McCaffrey and them. It's not gonna run against. It's not gonna work against Detroit. It's
It's not
not
gonna
gonna
work
work.
against the Eagles.
It's not gonna work against the Commanders when they. It's not gonna work against Green Bay when with what's their coach name with Matt LaFleur. It's not gonna
Yeah.
work against him. What he gonna do is he gonna pin you back and let them just go, and then get Mazi a big back Bojangles. Uh, he's 300 pounds right now, and that just blew us. That blew me. I didn't know what to say about that. That he
Well,
lost
the way
weight.
he was talking today, he's less than that.
It's that he lost weight. Yeah, no, we don't win.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know what I mean? So we'll have to figure that out. So one other thing, I know we had a lot to discuss. Let me see. What else did I want to talk about today? Dak and Pickens, they was looking good. Um,
The
they was
offense, you were saying some things about the offense. I think. Um,
well, the offense is gonna be good. I mean, as long as Dak is healthy, yeah, we need 3 good 1 ticks. Yeah, I was
yeah,
saying that we need we saying that we need good
we need
one
a
tick.
starter. We need a starting one tech, a veteran, and we
Yep.
need a backup one tech, another veteran. We need 2 veterans, one to start.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
crazy that he went from 330 to 300. And then what I'm scared about too is I'm scared that this defense and Eberflus is not going to work. And then next year they're going to be hiring another defensive coordinator, and it's going to be the 5th or the 4th defensive coordinator for Micah in 4 years. That's what I'm worried about. It's already 3 in 3 years. It's going to be 4 and 4 if Eberflus don't fix this.
they should have let Shoddy do
Hire
the
the
research
Yeah, they should have let.
and look at the coordinator. I
That's
think
what they.
they pulled the trigger too fast. But we're gonna see. He's got one job. Um, if if
Linville Joseph.
he's a veteran that you can bring in. We need somebody like that. I would prefer somebody younger. But look, man, we're gonna be sitting here week 4. If this guy's not stopping the run, I'm out. I'm out on that. I'm not giving him no 8 or 9 games. I'm not giving him to the end of the year. This is a no excuse zone for this. He's got one job to stop the run. I don't want to hear about his linebacker thing. I don't want to hear about the corners to keep it a buck. All I need to know is, are you stopping the run? That's it. And if he's
Yeah,
not, I'm out.
because man, it's nothing points to him being able to do that so far. They haven't done anything
He's got a lot of fuzzy numbers throughout his career that says he's done it at different times, but he
no,
also got a
I'm talking about since he has joined our team,
oh
there
no.
has been nothing to say. What do you think about trading for A. Gibson from New England?
I'm
For
not familiar with him, but
yeah, let me look
is he a
him up.
one tech?
Let me look him up.
So the one techs that I'm familiar with is DJ Reader and Grover Stewart from Indianapolis, which is one of Eberflus guys. Um, they're the 2 that I'm familiar with.
A. Gibson is a running back.
He's a running back.
Uh-huh. Antonio Gibson. He's
Okay.
27 years old. He looks pretty decent. I mean, he looks like what we have. Honestly, he's been in the league since 2020. He played with Washington, 2020 through 2023.
I do remember him in Washington. Now that I think about it, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But he's kind of like the guys we have. But
He
yeah,
is. He is. I think he like the guy that we have. But if they trading picks for somebody, it needs to be for me. It needs to be a defensive tackle, and it needs to be a one tick. Yeah, nah. If they don't,
yeah,
if they the way they built right now, I don't see them stopping the run. I mean, I don't. Like.
yeah. And
So
they're gonna try to put it on the linebackers. They're gonna try to use Murray,
winter is coming.
Sanborn.
So
Yeah,
Swain
it's
must be
winter.
from your Twitter.
He must be.
You know what I'm
Shout out
saying?
to Swain. Hey, let's go ahead and wrap so you can go down and but yeah,
Yeah.
it's we gonna see what happens tomorrow.
But this is what I'm saying. If I before we wrap, y'all, about I don't see how the stopping the run thing. It's just like, do I think that the offense? I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna show you who I'm talking about. Do I think that the offense is gonna be good? Yes. Why? Because I feel like they got a great guard in the draft. They secured the lineup. All the focus has been on Tyler Guyton getting better. Dak is healthy. They went and traded and got George Pickens, who was a number one, way better than anybody that we could have asked for, as far as a teammate. To
Good old
CD,
line coaches. Good,
good old
they
line
got
coaches. They
yeah.
got a brand new offensive line coach, brand new offensive coordinator. Shotty's running the offense, and when he was last running it, it was doing good. So everything points. The arrow is pointing up for the offense. Now, do I think the same thing about stopping the run? Besides them getting linebackers and Solomon Thomas, I don't see them doing anything that points to them being able to stop the run. Like I see the offense being able to stretch the field and run the ball. I don't see that same thing on the defense. I don't see them being able to do that. And winter is
Yeah.
coming.
And they're gonna be telling their tackles, whoever they're playing,
Get up.
defensive tackles, get upfield, stop the run on the way to the quarterback. No matter what, get upfield. You're gonna be expanding a lot of energy, so you're gonna have to play a lot of guys. So Mazi's gonna play. He gonna have to because
Yeah. And then another thing, that's what the Rod Marinelli defense is about. They always
Mhm.
substituting players every play, every other play. They substitute. They got packages. They got the NASCAR package, and then they got the stop the run package, and then they just swap. And then they be getting penalties because they be tired as hell running off the field, and the play get called.
and Jimmy did that. You go back and watch the games. He did all of that, but what he also did, you couldn't run on him. You just couldn't. You couldn't run inside or outside. I mean, I watched the games during the break. I was just stunned how ineffective teams was running the ball. It was like literally you couldn't run it. You just couldn't.
It's teams like that in today's NFL. If you just go
Yeah.
look at the running, if you just go look at the numbers on the teams that
Yep.
stop the run, you go look and watch their
I do.
games, you be like, oh yeah,
And
yeah,
we're
they
playing them because I do you one better. And shout out to Henny. Henny has pointed this out. He went back and did an analysis of all our playoff teams the last few years. Two things stood out. We could not stop the run and we could not run. And people don't talk about that a lot. We couldn't run the ball either.
we jumping over there too. The Cowboy Collective is live, Law on Sky and Foots.
Oh, okay, we're gonna go check them out. So we getting ready to head out.
Yeah, we getting ready to head out. So appreciate you, Swain, for coming through, and
Yeah, appreciate it.
everybody else that watched. And I'm gonna chop this one up and get this one out there on our short. So we'll be back tomorrow to see what other news is dropping. I know tomorrow is gonna be a more intensive day. Uh, what's good, Amp? And tomorrow's gonna be another good day because they're gonna be more interesting. I think they're gonna be more intense tomorrow. So our eyes gonna be on Micah really to see if he's what he's doing and. So we'll see tomorrow what tomorrow brings, and we'll see y'all around the same time. You want to do what 7 tomorrow, or you want to do 6? What you want to do?
We'll probably do 7.
So we'll probably see y'all tomorrow at 7, and we'll get the link out there early. So we'll see y'all
Oh,
tomorrow.
tomorrow we doing Monica.
Oh yeah, tomorrow we doing Monica. So
So
tomorrow,
we gonna send that out early in the day.
yeah, we're gonna send that out early today. Tomorrow we doing my cousin Monica, and that's gonna be a fire show. It's gonna be fire. So we'll be doing Monica tomorrow. Speaking of Monica, she didn't send me like I don't know 30 pictures.
So now tomorrow during the day, we going to send out the, you know, kind of pep that show up so people will know who we're interviewing and what time.
Yeah, I got some. I'll be putting something out on that.
And you got to send it to me early enough so I can do it because all my followers, I'm gonna tell them who we interviewing and at what time.
I'm gonna put it in the family group chat for the first time. I'm gonna put our stuff in
Oh,
there. That's gonna be fire because everybody gonna watch it.
yep. All right. Well, we finna wrap.
Yeah, so we'll see y'all on the next one. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share. Peace.